Reactions continue to trail the rejection of gender abuse at the National Assembly. Let's talk now to Director of Programs YIAGA Africa, Cynthia Mbamalu, who joins us live from Abuja. You are now demanding the voting records to see how lawmakers voted in this regard. How far has that gone, and what exactly do you look forward to achieve with it?
Well, we believe that this voting record should be public document. And citizens deserve to know how lawmakers voted on issues, especially issues as important as the constitutional amendment process. We're yet to hear from the National Assembly. You know, they voted yesterday. They also sat today, and we're hoping that they will release this record soon. And because it's also time we begin to hold lawmakers accountable. And I think this should be an interest for all Nigerians. We should make a demand for National Assembly to release the records of votes, because we also need to know how every lawmaker voted for every proposed amendment, especially amendments that protects our democracy, that protects the freedom of and rights of citizens, and that ensures our system is a bit more sanitized and positioned for development and positioned to actually achieve democracy. So we're still making that demand. We're yet to hear from the National Assembly, and today's protest, we were there from morning till evening. The protest remains, and our demand is clear. We want the National Assembly leadership to not just address women and apologize for what happened at the floor of the chambers yesterday, in both chambers, but to also reconsider those bills. The bills that were voted against, we need them to reconsider those bills, because we believe that there's an opportunity for us as a people, as a nation, to develop our democracy, to grow, when we actually pass legislations that protect and guarantees the rights of women as equal citizens in Nigeria. So we still make our demands. We need the votes of proceedings, the records of votes, because we also want to start mobilizing people to know those we have to vote out as individuals, as lawmakers who did not protect the interests of the Nigerian woman, who did not protect our democracy, and who did not uphold the principles of equality, freedom, and justice that are enunciated in our constitution. So we need to know who those people are, because those lawmakers are not friends of Nigeria. They are not lovers of democracy. Rather, they are threats to our democracy, and they do not deserve to represent the people in the chambers, whether the Senate or in the House of Representatives.
Let's talk about how strategic the lobbying was prior to this voting. For the first time, we saw the wife of the president, and I think the wife of the vice president, on the floor of the National Assembly. But lawmakers, I spoke with a spokesperson of the Senate the other night, and according to him, lawmakers voted according to how their constituents demanded that they vote. Would you say that women folk and perhaps civil society organizations could have done better to have decided that voting go the other way around, particularly during pre-voting and during lobbying?
I think what is important is the fact that for the Ninth Assembly, there was a lot more intentionality in engaging, in advocating, and in lobbying the lawmakers on the constitutional amendment bills, especially the proposals for women. There was a special technical group that was set up under one of the projects that had persons like eminent religious leaders and traditional rulers, and even former presidents from within the continent in those working groups that engaged at different levels. There's a lot of work that was done, and I think it's important we know that when lawmakers tell us they voted in line with their constituents' needs, we need to ask, when did they consult their constituents? Which of their constituents said they shouldn't vote for women? Because I do not believe that their constituents do not have women who understand that they are pushing for their rights. So are we saying that in the 8th Assembly, when the proposals for local government autonomy failed, it failed because the constituents at the local level said no to local government autonomy? Are we saying that all the proposals that have failed are only failing because the constituents said no to proposals for different proposals? So if we talk about the proposals that even did not make it in this ninth assembly. So I think it's important with lawmakers take responsibilities for their votes and not necessarily hide under the guise or cover that their constituents made up of women, because let us remember that when these lawmakers go for elections, they use women mobilizers to mobilize votes. The women leaders are active working for them. And today, when we were protesting, we had women leaders coming out. In fact, we had an uproar of women leaders across the country who were actually looking out for ways to get to Abuja today to join us. So which constituents are we referring to? Is it the constituents that include men and women? Or is it the constituents that include a select few men who do not see the need to include women in the proposals or to include women in the constitution? We need to always be clear on that, because I know that Nigerian women are in every constituency in Nigeria. We are not only in one place. We are spread across the country and spread across the constituencies in this country. So I think it's important the lawmakers are clear. The lobbying was done. Advocacy was done.
Absolutely.
The press conferences. Think about all the strategies you can think of. And I think we need to work with women. This is not a women fight. Women fight for every other national issue. Why is it that when it's women issue, we want only women to fight? Are we saying that Nigerian women cannot get the support of Nigerians?
I get your point.
Are we saying that only Nigerian women will support issues?
I'm afraid we have to go now. Director of Programs, YIAGA Africa, Cynthia Mbamalu, thank you for talking to us tonight.